I saw James. I forgot his name. James who? James Long. Yes, I saw James Long, and Sasha Grief, and many other people coming on Twitch and pair programming. I'm really uncomfortable going on video, even if it is to myself, but because I haven't done this before. Um, so I wanted to. It really struck me that people are actually building the uh, actually working on the code that they are very responsible for, and they care very much about online live in front of people. So I watch Candy Dot's live programming sessions as well, and Sasha Grief. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, and many other. I think um, I saw a couple of others. Okay, so anyway, I wanted to take this as an opportunity because two things that struck me really good is that people watching other people um, code gives you that gap that always has been there, how people actually think and design while they code, and debunking many myths. For example, very experienced coders or programmers do not make mistakes and such. So in this video, I'm going to explain a small Atom plugin that Anshuman Shah made, and then Sunil Pai, no, somebody else tweeted about it, and Sunil Pai retweeted it, and then it got my attention. Uh, so Kevin D. Dodds made this css-in-js library inspired by Glamour, which is a very cool css-in-js library made by Sunil Pai. He built it on top of it, taking cues and inspiration from styled components and style JSX and others. So the Atom plugin, what is basically does is too many times it is a very established fact that we do not go writing proper CSS if we have to. We very much copy paste sometimes, almost all the times. But okay, so we copy paste CSS from wherever we want in an object, and then we select it, and then we run this command that comes with this Atom plugin, and then it automatically converts it into a valid JavaScript object syntax that caters to that properly works as Glamour or Glamorous have been designed to take it up. So I took it as an opportunity to read this code and perhaps made it for VS Code itself, because I use both of Atom and VS Code sometimes. I don't have a one edited preference because I think that will build up in coming times, but since I'm not very experienced, um, so um, so okay, yeah. So I was thinking of porting this code for VS Code, and I started doing it. Um, I mean, not actually doing it, but I started looking into the VS Code extensions API. Uh, when I was well up into debugging some of the things that I was not able to get working with VS Code, uh, debugging extensions, I opened an issue on VS Code repo, and then a guy helped me out very quickly. But when I scroll down to the same tweet thread, somebody had already done it for VS Code. So thankfully, I saw it pretty earlier than I would have otherwise. So anyway, we are so my motive changed and I couldn't code it up. I mean, port it from Atom to code. So I just went on to cloning this repo locally and understanding the code. So I'll just go through the things that I saw once only. So the structure that you are seeing here, key maps, lib, menu, spec, styles, whatever there is mostly generated by Atom has a functionality. If you open the command palette here and type something like generate package, so it will automatically generate this bare minimum structure that one needs for the Atom plugins itself, and then you can build upon it. I followed a small where was it? There are too many unrelated things open here. It was somewhere. It was somewhere. I have not opened it. Okay, so let's open it. GitHub, Atom, um, extend. No, okay, it is open here. So Atom extension, how to build your first Atom plugin. So there are many things that we'll cover right while reading the code itself. So we do not need to worry about this right now. So let's dive into the code. We have a package.json file. Please open up. Is it already open up? Yes. So okay. So we have a package.json file, and we have the main file that Atom picks up, because I think Atom since uses Electron, Babel. I don't know how they do their bundling and stuff, but like Webpack, it is the entry level entry file, the first file that the only file that you need to tell Atom to look into, and from there it will figure out stuff, and the version number, description, keywords, and the activation commands. So the activation command for Atom Workspace is css-in-js convert. So if we open command palette by pressing Command Shift and P, and we search CSS in JS, we will automatically see that command come out here. Since sometimes remembering shortcuts is cumbersome, this is a very cool thing that new editors and even I think the Chrome developer tools have picked up. So it's really cool, and then it has three dependencies for it. I have no idea why status is here. I did not see it before. Okay, so that is none of our concern right now. CSS is a CSS parser, npm package, and stringify object is a simple. Um, it, it is a okay. Let's just see what it is. It's a stringify an object array like JSON or stringify, just without all the double quotes. So it gives a pretty neat without quotes string representation of an object or array. So let's dive into the code itself. So in the package JSON, we see the entry-level file is css-in-js file. Let's go there. Lib css-in-js. So we'll come here, and using Babel, we have imported composite disposable, which is used to play with the events with some events that Atom provides us with. Even subscribe to, okay, this comment was already there. So even subscribe to in Atom system can be easily cleaned up. Okay, that is not what it actually states what it is. So let's just Google it out. Atom plugin. You can see I have watched movies lately, and okay, uh, let's open it up, and I have a very slow internet connection here in India. Um, an object that aggregates multiple disposable instances together. Um, okay. So basically, this composite disposable help us play with events. For example, new composite. We instantiated a new composite disposable and assigned it to this dot subscriptions in an object that we are exporting. We'll see what it is. Um, Subscriptions on subscriptions, we can add commands. For example, this dot subscriptions add atom.commands.add atom workspace this, and when, so we are telling here to atom that when this command is executed, what function it has to invoke. So this is what is the use of composite disposable here. We can also see if we could here composite, okay, composite disposable. Okay. A key. It has not mentioned something about what it does explicitly. I think import request. No. No. Let's see. Let's go up, up, up. Um, no, nothing's there. So before we, I forgot. Before we go into all the code, we should get into some of the files that Atom automatically generated for us. For example, menu items in somewhere in menus folder. So the same thing that css-in-js convert command should be available in the submenu here, css-in-js command and sort of stuff, and I don't know what this is, something like that, needed for something like that only. And what else is here? Same thing, same thing. Okay. 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 Search it one more time. Okay, so it is not using this for anything else than to add the to tell Atom what to do if that command is executed. So that is that. So as soon as the command is executed, this dot convert. So because this is an object, we can refer other properties by this keyword. This dot convert. Where is convert? This is convert. So let editor, if we are assigning editor by getting atom.workspace.get active text editor, which is basically saying that the focus of Atom is on this editor itself, and not, for example, if we open up preferences or something. So we are getting the selected text. For example, if here or okay here, or let me get my file here. So this or whatever selected text is, we get from atom dot, where did it go, atom dot works, sorry, at editor dot, which we have assigned here, editor dot get selected text. So if we have selected something, and if it matches, if it has any if it has left curly bracket somewhere, it means that it is an object. So the main idea of this check is to see if it is a glamour or glamorous component. For example, Anshuman has played shared this gif, whatever. So if there is a bracket, curly bracket, and we execute the command, it, rather than changing the CSS syntax to css-in-js syntax like he has provided in this example, if the angle if the curly bracket is selected as well, then it will directly convert it into glamorous, depending on which snippet we are giving to the command. and by default it is glamorous at this point of time, so it converts it into a glamorous component, div component by default. So Anshuman has said somewhere in this thread, I guess, asked rather to get insight on how an interface, the graphical interface, could be designed, or any options given anywhere, so that it is not a div by default, and any other tag could be given. So that would be cool. I hope I'll be able to um, contribute into it in some way or the other. But okay, let's focus on where we were. We were in css-in-js, the main file. So if it has the curly bracket, then editor.insert text, then um, uh, sort of remove the selected text and instead insert a new text, which is CSS selection. So, or if there is no bracket and it is just the CSS like I just showed you, then just convert the CSS syntax into JavaScript object syntax that Glamour and Glamorous use, by executing this thing. Where are CSS function and lines function coming from? They are being imported from here. Uh, Convert CSS file here and convert lines here. This lines one converts the CSS into JS object syntax, and this converts the whole selector CSS thing into a glamorous component by default. So we also have a config.json, which is what I forgot. Okay, what is config.json file? Given somewhere, nowhere. Uh, no. Okay. So whatever. I'll see to it after I do it, but it is being. I think it is being given somewhere. Is it in packages um, on big? No, no. Here, let's. Okay. So config is being imported from here and used where? Oh, directly. So the object that we are exporting from here, which we are directly giving first hand to Atom, it has an API which expects a config object, JSON. Okay, so that JSON file is here. Some silent errors don't show an error message if CSS parsing fails somewhere. We'll see where it is being used. And then we have css-in-js options. If the snippets thing that I was talking about, so if the snippet is of glamour or style component, do something as per how their syntax is, and by default it is glamorous. Okay, so and and what do we have else here? Single quote, use single quote instead of double quotes. I don't know why that is and where it is being used. So we'll see. Okay, I don't know what order is, and okay, we'll see what order is. Order Atom plugins API. I'm very terrible at Google searching things. Um, New services API. Am I live? Yes, I am live. Okay. What is order? Documentation. What is order? Let's see. It's not important to keep your your viewers um, active in some sort of entertaining engagement or something like that, because I'm terrible at that as well. Plus, my English is my second language. Order, nothing. Order. you have seen Bollywood movies, you would know what I'm talking about. Okay, I don't know what it is. Okay, we'll just stick to the gist of it for now. So we were left here if we have selected a text with curly bracket, then do this, um, then exchange, or what do we call it in English? Mm, okay, replace, yes, correct. Replace the text, selected text, with whatever comes out of this, or if it is just the CSS that is selected, then replace it by whatever comes out of this. Let's see what comes out of this first, because the main magic point of this thread, crazy, awesome thread, not thread, but the thread that is uh, that went bonkers over this school thing, uh, does. Okay, so let's go to what lines function is doing. Lines is imported from it is convert lines. So let is CSS, we just match if it is ending or it has something somewhere, uh, a semicolon somewhere. So because CSS syntax has to end with semicolon, so we are checking with the regex pattern here. If it is an empty array, and see if it matches something, so its length, it would be one for one statement. It would be called statement of that, um, of one line of the CSS. Okay, so to camel, it replaces hyphen followed by any alphabet, um, and it takes, I don't know what the arguments of function, callback function, and it replaces, but it seems to be something that whatever is selected, return it by uppercasing it. So I'll just check if I don't know what the first argument is. Replace JavaScript, which is terrible on my part. But let's see what it is. Dot replace ambient rocks. Um, come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, a function with parameters. What parameters? P1, P2. The N is okay. Whatever comes in the bracket is matched with the arguments. Match has to be match. Is it so? Um, dash next. Okay, we'll just see what it is. Let's convert. Let's use return here instead of using explicit without curly brackets arrow function, and let's console.log what dash is, what next is. So okay, so whatever change that we make with our Atom plugin, we have to reload our Atom window to 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 get that active instantly. So the change should be active. I'll open my console here, and I'll open up the text, sample text to play on. Right click, convert css-in-js, and okay, there was some error. Show stack 1029 convert lines. Where is convert lines? 1029. Something is up. Um, what is up? syntax error. What is wrong? I have an arrow function. I have a console.log here. I'm returning it properly. Am I? Um, okay. I don't know what is wrong. Okay, let's figure it out. No useful information here. Okay, let's see what is up. Return next to uppercase. Oh, okay. Was this the thing? Oh, okay. This needs to come here. I'll have to reload it. Reload it again to immediately make sure that the changed code has effect as soon as we reload, and so it should be good now. So I'll open up my sample code here, and I have selected the text. I'll right click again, convert css-in-js, and it should not throw. Something went wrong. Something didn't happen. Nothing happened. Oh, okay. Select convert css-in-js. No, something is wrong again. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. So this is CSS. I was using the converted form to check on. Convert CSS in JS. Okay, so I have dash W and W. So we had console log dash and next. Okay, so this the 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 part of the string that got selected by this regex expression is the first argument, and the second one is, am I right or am I wrong? Okay, let's go back to the documentation. The matched substring, okay, that is the first argument that we have, and okay, function replacement. I don't know what this means. Okay. I was thinking of tweeting this video's link to Anshuman, but I don't think I will now. I'm getting stuck so much. Um, the match string is what seems to be getting selected here, and I don't know what the next is. Okay. Oh, okay. So this seems to, okay, where is it? This seems to be any number of arguments which correspond to the values that gets matched inside the brackets. So this will correspond to whatever gets matched for backslash a plus and then p2 and then so on and so forth, because we have only um, one um, one set of brackets and slash w here, which means the One alphabet immediately after the literal dash is what is W is S. Okay, so uppercase it and then send back. This is 2 gamma. This is so simple. I took so much time on it. So okay. Anyway, 2JS takes the item, the for example whatever CSS line rule that we would write. For example, whatever word wrap breakword or whatever. So this will be the item here, and we will split it by uh, the semicolon. So let's just do everything side by side. We split it by colon, and we get an array where this and this set apart by in two separate indices in the array. And I don't know why this white space exists. Prop means the word wrap dot index of um, prop dot trim, which seems to be which is trying to figure out if there is any starting if there is any white space at the starting of the prop name, which isn't in our case here. It would happen if white space would happen here +1. I don't know why that is. If anybody of you are watching, is somebody watching? Um, is somebody watching? Is somebody watching? No, nobody's watching. Oh, okay. Nobody is watching. That is okay. 16 viewers. I I did not know there were people watching. Thank you if you are watching and bearing with me with my so slow understanding of basic JavaScript. Okay. um, so that white spaces it seems to hold on to this into this variable, and it is returning white space dot join whatever. This seems to be this seems to be um, what is the word in English for that? This seems to be this seems to be um, okay, I forgot. So this is the white space here. I don't know why it is here. Um, so and it is concatenated with, so basically the word wrap is becoming word wrap here, and followed by a semicolon, and then the uh, trimmed value of break word um, with the additional white space that got trimmed because of this. And the okay, I made a mistake here because I didn't use a semicolon at the end of it. So this will get replaced by nothing and then a comma at the end. So as we were watching here, when we select it and we run the command here, every property, CSS property gets camel cased, and all the properties, all the values of the properties gets get wrapped in single quotes. But the problem that one of the users, I think, um, on the repo itself opened was that, um, as you can see here, if there is an empty string as a value of the prop, for example content, it will not sense it, and it will instead quote it with another single quotes. So that is an issue. Guy had opened an issue here. So if you transfer content, then it will become content for strings when it should become either this or this. So he had suggested to use backticks. That might be easier in this situation, which I did do when I first saw this bug. I'll talk about it later, I guess. We'll see. So we let is.js is only checks for if it is indeed JS, because for us the JS the recognition of a JS object is that at the end of a property value keeper we have a comma, like mhm, this itself, and is CSS is when we have at the end of it a semicolon. And so is.js is that, and um, 2 hyphen is, I don't know, whatever it is, 2 hyphen it replaces, oh okay, so to convert it from CSS, sorry, JS to CSS, it will need to hyphenate it. It is just almost the opposite of to camel. So just like there was two JS, there is two CSS, because if we see here, if we convert it, albeit with the bug that is here, and if we select it once again and run it again, it will convert it into the CSS again. And this bug is really crazy right here, um, which is not a big deal, but it needs to be fixed. Probably I will do, I'll open up pull request for that. And so 2G CSS, I'll not go through it in detail. It is almost exactly that, just that it is getting into converted into CSS syntax. So um, what this is doing is, you give me the selected text, I will split it by new lines, and I will return a new lines array, um, which is pipeline as follows. We map it, and each item is the each line, the each CSS or JS line, for example this. And if it is CSS, then convert it into JS. If it is JS, then convert it into CS. And Anshuman didn't, I think, need to. I mean, he did the right thing that he didn't check for a strange combination of both of them together. So something like font weight 100, like this is very unlikely to happen. So it is safe to assume, because okay, I mean that's completely fine. And then we join it back. Sorry, we earlier I said that we were returning an array. Why would we do that? Because we were inserted a long string. So we will join it back by new line, and we will return it. So that is all that is happening here. We select it here, from here we execute the command, and it gets converted into css-in-js syntax, or which is basically the JavaScript object notation that Glamour and Glamorous use for the CSS properties, the camel casing of the CSS properties when needed, um, and wrapping them up in quotes. So this is what was the main part of the extension. And convert CSS. Remember, this was being used when we had selected something with left pointing curly bracket, which is to say that we are meant to convert something like this directly into a glamorous component like this. And so let's see what CSS function is doing. Convert CSS to camel, something like that, to upper camel case, something like that again, right? Yeah, let's see. So get snippet, we are atom.config.get. Remember our config is this. We are getting css-in-js option dot snippet. Whatever it is will go right from there. So config.json, whatever our snippet is, which is by default glamorous, and we'll go back here. If it is glamorous, then convert it into a string, which is const. And so this is a weird thing because I think it is, I don't know, I think it is weird because to upper camel case snippet dot key. Okay, so the snippet key, let's see what the snippet key is. What is key here? Is it here? No, it doesn't here. Is it being passed from somewhere? Key, where is the key? um, okay, yes, so the key is being given to snippet itself. So what does okay, we'll talk about it later. So whatever the key is, we upper camel case if as is needed for React components. um, the first alphabet of the React component should be uppercased, and this was a very tiresome bug that I faced when I started, when I first stumbled upon React in 2015, I guess. That was my first job. I had no prior programming experience. I didn't know how I got that job, and I just did. And as soon as our basic training was over, our first task, a couple of us, was to read the React's documentation and tell everybody in the team in a week's time what the basic idea of React was and why is that is being taken up so enthusiastically. So they were fun days. Okay, so const the name of the React component that is coming directly from the selector, sort of selector syntax, literally css-in-js poof, and glamorous.div and stringify object. I told you what stringify object is. Snippet.style, whatever the styles is that the snippet will hold. We'll see where they are coming from. And then this is a stringify object option, single quotes and indent by 2 spaces, I guess. And if it is case, instead of glamorous.div, do css, which is a different, I mean, this is inside a string, so it basically is the glamour css function, and inside it the styles that we'll put, which is coming from snippet.style. So let's see what 2js is working here. So okay, let's see where we are executing get snippet inside the 2js itself. Okay, so 2js rules and options. So we are using css, npm package name css, which is a css parser, and so the rules that is here will come from there. So let's see here, we are exporting finally the final thing that we are exporting is convert, which will convert the this syntax into glamorous or glamour syntax in Jiffy, and that convert takes all the whole string blob, and we get the AST by parsing that selected CSS, and when we parse it, and this is what the silence errors is used for. It is saying if there is some parsing error in the CSS, fail silently, sort of do not do something if this is what indeed it is. Let's just check what. Okay, yes. So it does all the thing here. It didn't do anything here because the it was not the correct CSS index because of the lack of semicolon. And if we do, okay, I know I'm being very verbose, but because this is the first time, so here. So fail silently if there is any parsing error in the CSS. As soon as we have AST, and I could show you how the AST looks like, but it would be very self-evident when we dive into this 2JS function. So you could use something like require bin, and then I think I might have it cached here. Let's see. Um, require bin, open. Come on, come on, come on, come on, take the radio home. Okay, it's taking to. Okay, it does. It did. So it will parse something like, I'll just show you this object that gets console logged out. Um, I have very dummy CSS here, and we are just what? We are just parsing it, and I'm consoling this object. So no big deal. And I'll run the code, and then it will it will it will run. It did run. It didn't run. No idea. Did it run? No, it is still loading. My internet is too terrible. We'll see how the parsed CSS looks. So anyway, let's just move on from here for time being. If the AST of the CSS is a type of style sheet, and if it has rules, then um, give the rules object to JS with an empty object, which is supposed to be some kind of options, which is not being used anywhere for now. So this is a style sheet, correct? And style sheet has rules, so it is valid CSS, and we have to invoke this 2JS function. So what 2JS will do is take the rules, make a snippet arrays for each rule. Let's see how rules look. For each rule, okay, for each rule, if rule.type is comment, let's see if we have a comment. We have a comment. I think this one is a comment. So this rule.type is comment, and if it is comment, return, do nothing. Else, if it is a rule, if the type is rule for the rules, okay, then var key and style an empty object. Key, this is the key that gets passed to uh, to this snippet, this right here. So for example, here the snippet, sorry, the key would be dot css dash in dash js. But yeah, so that is the idea, correct? I think I said it is weird. It is really not, because nobody would be using something like whatever css-in-js, multiple selectors or whatever container, and then write those rules, because we do not we do not have anything to do with multiple selectors. It's just a convenient way to quickly turn uh, a class to an camel case React component name. So so what we'll do here is we will, okay, yeah, so key rules dot selectors dot join with a dash. So this is if there are multiple selectors, like I just said, they will be joined by dash, and the name, the React component name, which is being used here to upper camel case snippet dot key, will be sort of weird. So that is okay. And so we get the key, which is the React component name uppercase. Rules dot declarations dot for each. Let's see, where were we required in rules dot declarations. Do we have? Okay, so in the individual rules declarations, which is the property and the value. For each, what we do is in the style object at the declaration property index, or mm, the key of that object, camel cased, declaration dot property. What is declaration dot property? The property, the CSS property. Okay, for example, the display, and put the value of that declaration as well. So display inline block becomes display camel cased, which will remain display, and inline block will get quoted, and we push this hash value, key, and the style in an object, and then push it into snippets. And when okay, so we pushed it into the snippets, and we are returning snippets. We have all the key and value pairs like this in an object, and mapping it over, finding every snippet and running the snippet on it, which converts it into the glamorous component, and so on and so forth. So this is basically what the whole Atom extension was, and I know I did a pretty bit bad job in explaining the API of. Did I explain it? Oh, okay. So if the Atom workspace or window, I'm not sure what is the correct word to say. But when it gets deactivated, when we are not in the editor anymore, um, be done with all the subscriptions that we have made in the activate. So activate is when the command will get executed, and this is a state object which I think I read is the state of the text editor, which is passed on after after I mean the text editor is not focused or in or is inactive for some reason, something like that. And so that was everything that I think I wanted to make a video about for some reason, and it will be the end of it. Oh yes, correct. So only one thing that I wanted to tell you is that um, that weird code bug gets pretty easily solved if we where did it go? Here, I'll cut it, cross it, paste it, commodities. If we use the backticks instead of the concatenation thing, what I'm doing here is um, I'm just getting to know if there is an empty, if value of CSS property is an empty string, and if it is, then I'm putting an empty string, else the whole value itself. So that okay. So I'll just show you how this works. I will save it and I will reload, and as soon as I have reloaded my Atom text editor, and I'll just go again to that sample text, I'll select it, and um, I'll run the command once just for the sake of it from the command palette, css-in-js convert, enter, and it seems to be to have done fine, like this. So I haven't done the same thing for the opposite, for converting the css-in-js syntax into CSS. I could do that and put a pull request, hopefully. That is it, guys. Thanks if someone has had the guts to remain for so long with this video. Thanks so much.